Today we're going to go over a simple way to collect input from inside of a template repeater in Ignition. The template repeater is a great way to funnel data into a set of templates. However, getting data out of a template in the repeater is not exactly a straightforward process. What we're going to do is create a new property on the template repeater that can be used to store and access data from the templates it contains. This could be useful in creating dynamic pages where the amount of input fields needed is unknown. For example, if you're inserting values into an SQL database. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the template that we're going to be working with. So we're going to go down here to templates, we're going to right click, and we're going to choose new template. We're just going to call this input template. And then what I'm going to do is hit Control P over here and change the height of this to be 50 pixels just so that everything looks right when we put it into the repeater later on. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to click this customizer icon and we're going to add 3 new properties. The first one is going to be called index. It's an integer. The next 2 are going to be string values, and this one is going to be repeater, and this is going to store the name of the repeater component that this template is appearing in. And then we're going to create another one called value, and that's just going to store the value of the text box. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and make the template. We'll drag in a text field, and we will drag in a label. Then I'm just going to hit Control P for the size and position on here, and I'm going to change this to 190 pixels. It's 10 pixels less than the width of the container. Then I'm just going to take these and I'm going to line them up a little better so everything looks nice. Make sure everything fits in there. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little room to this label and we're going to bind its text property. What we're going to do is link this to an expression. That's going to be label, and we are going to include the index property. This is just so we can keep track of which template is which once we put it inside the repeater. And next we're going to choose the text field, hit Control J to bring up the scripting dialog, and we're going to be doing a new property change script. The first thing you want to do whenever you're doing a property change script is make sure that the property that changed is the one you're trying to work with. So we're going to do if events.property name equals text, then we're going to run our code. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to get the window that the template repeater is on. So we're going to do window equals system.gui.getParentWindow, and we are going to pass that this event. Next we need to make sure that our repeater custom property has been defined. So we're going to do if event.source.parent.repeater equals nothing, then we need to call a function on the main window that is going to populate that value for us. So we're going to do window.rootContainer.initRepeater. Basically all that's going to do is it's going to pass the name of the template repeater into this template and update that variable for us. So the next thing we're going to do now is we need to make sure we update the value. We're going to do event.source.parent.value equals event.newValue. And then finally, we are going to call an update templates method on the repeater itself, and we will go ahead and define that in just a second. So for now, we're just going to add this line of code, window.rootContainer.getComponent, and we are going to pass that events.source.parent.repeater, and then we're going to call the update templates method. Okay, well that's good. We're going to click apply, click OK. Next thing we need to do is we need to create a new window. So we're going to right click on Windows and choose main window, new main window, and we just leave this as main window. That's perfectly fine. We're going to add 2 components to this window. The first one is going to be the actual template repeater itself. It starts out a little small, so we're just going to drag it out, kind of make it a more appropriate size so we can see what we're working with. And then we'll go ahead and configure that. We'll change the template path to input path, and let's go ahead and create 7 instances of that on here. Okay, the next component is going to be a table component, and this is just so that we can view the data as it changes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to choose the template repeater, and we're going to click the customizer icon again, and we're going to add a new custom property. We're going to call this templates, and it's going to be a dataset property. Next thing we're going to do, still with the template repeater selected, is press Ctrl J, and we're going to add 2 new methods. And we're going to name these InitTemplates and UpdateTemplates. Now the InitTemplates method, this is all it's going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to fill in the repeater custom property on the template. So what we're going to do is first get all of the loaded templates. So we're going to do templates equals self.get loaded templates. It's going to return a list of all the templates. Then we're going to iterate through that. So we're going to do for template in templates. We're going to set the templates repeater property to equal this component's name. And then once we're done with that, we are going to call our update templates method. So self.update templates. And click apply. And we're going to go into our update templates. Now what this is going to do is it's going to actually create the data set that we're going to use. So first thing we need to do again is we need to get the loaded templates. So we're going to do templates equals self.get loaded templates. After we do that, we need to declare a couple of lists so that we can create our new data set. So we're going to create a new list called headers, and that's going to contain index and value, and then we're going to create an empty list that will be populating as we iterate through the templates. So for template in templates, we are going to do body.append, and we are going to add a new list that stores the templates index property and the templates value property. Okay, after we do that, we need to update the custom property on the repeater. So we're going to do self.templates equals system.dataset.toDataset, and we are going to pass that our headers and our body. And we're going to click apply, and we can close this out. Next, with the root container selected, we're going to hit Ctrl J again, and we're going to add a new method. This one is going to be called InitRepeater. And all this is going to do is it's going to look for the template repeater by name. So we're going to do self.getComponent, and we are going to search for template repeater. And then we are going to call the InitTemplates method that we just defined. Apply. Okay. Now let's go over to our table and make sure that the data property here is bound to the templates data set that we created. And it should be just about good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the designer in play mode, and we are going to enter a new value. As you can see, the table gets populated with the new data set, and we can just keep adding values as much as we want. So now we have a data set stored on the template repeater that has all of the values of the templates inside of it. And you can use this to reference anything you needed to do using those values, such as update an SQL database. If you needed to create a new template for each column that you had to insert a new row, you could dynamically generate it. You could enter your text in here, and it would be stored in that data set for you. So, hope that was helpful. You guys have a good one.